All right, everybody, welcome back to GK Pro's next day coverage of the 2019 Idlewild Open, driven by the Nati and Innova Champion Discs. I'm Nate Perkins, and I'm joined here today with Kevin Jones.
Yeah, what's going on, Nate? How we doing today?
Doing great, man. Ready for some more golf.
Yeah, man, me too. I'm really excited to rewatch this card. This is going to be a lot of fun. We've got Emerson Keith, Calvin Heimburg, James Conrad, and Kevin Jones. A lot of fire on this card. A lot of young names. It's going to be fun.
And we got a lot of hot scores after round one.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is these are some of the best scores this course has ever seen.
No doubt.
Hole 1 is the second easiest hole on the course. 638 feet, playing really far downhill. The only danger on this hole is the left side tree line is all OB, so if you can avoid that and just flip your disc over to the right side fairway, anywhere landing by this tree is ideal and pretty easy to score a birdie from there.
And all four of these players have at one point carded a 2 on this hole.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a super cool fact.
And you carded a 2 in yesterday's round.
I did. I got it yesterday, but I have to say it was such a surprise. Like, I'm not by any means really trying to get a 2 here. I really just want to. I'm throwing my flippiest D2 here to make sure that I get far enough right. This one is actually looking really high, though.
And that started out like straight at the pin.
Yeah. On a hyzer, flipping up to straight. Luckily, it held just enough to not go OB, and that's in perfect spot.
Yeah, that OB is pretty much on the tree line over there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So if you're touching the trees at all, you're going to be pretty much OB. Guaranteed 4 from there.
And James is just full on sand on this one. I mean, he's got a 25-foot run up.
Yeah, he's going to throw a Wraith, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a Wraith. Pretty much the fastest disc you'll ever see him throw.
Yeah, he pulls out the Destroyer rarely. This looks like it's turned just a little much, but a good golf shot from James, putting himself in perfect position to just have a simple up and down for the birdie 3, which is a great start on this course. That's ideal.
And that's really the miss on this hole. There's no danger to the right, and it opens up the approach.
That's true.
And Calvin is also fully capable of getting it down there. He 2'd it yesterday.
Yeah, Calvin, who does like to throw a lot of Destroyers. Oh, that caught some trees just high, took some speed off, so that will not allow him to get super far into the circles.
Yeah, yesterday he put it in circle 1. He's right at that circle 2's edge, and with that elevated pin, I'm guessing he's going to lay that one up.
Yeah, I think that looks like a layup, just being round 2 and no reason to chase anything just yet. Emerson out of his hand. This looks really good. But just not quite enough turn. I believe that's a Ballista Pro.
Did that find you out of bounds?
It sure did.
Wow.
Yeah, it just did not get turned quite enough, and then caught a gnarly skip, and it was in there pretty good. Conrad threw a really good upshot there. It actually just caught that tree and kicked about as far as it could have kicked away. So he's a 25-foot putt from his birdie.
Did you think about this one much, or is that an easy layup for you?
That seemed like a pretty easy layup. For some reason, with the wind being the way it was, and I think I was a little further than the first round, no reason. Just stress-free birdie is what I was thinking. Emerson is going to lay up for his par because he went OB on the drive.
Kind of looks like Calvin's definitely lining this one up.
That's right. Calvin is not afraid of the comeback putt. He has a super solid inside the circle putt that he can lean on. This is James Conrad to start the round off with a 3 and 1 under par.
It's a good 18, 20-foot putt. A nice tester on an elevated pin.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Dead center. Fully committed from James.
Can we talk about that putt a little? Who were you modeling your putt after? When did you commit to the straddle putt?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I committed to it probably around 3 years ago, right when I got into college. I watched Nico LaCastro and Nate Sexton. Those are the main two guys that I kind of modeled it after. But with the idea of what Ricky does also and the angle that the disc comes out of his hand, I truly believe in that. I think having a nose down angle creates a higher percentage of your disc being able to find the bottom of the basket. And so I have been working on it ever since, pretty much.
Well, it's definitely become one of the more popular putts to try and recreate. I know I've seen a lot of youngsters out there doing the KJ.
Yeah, that's like a dream to me. I've heard that also. That's super awesome.
It's really cool, man.
Hole 2 is lengthened from years past, really creating a lot of stress on the tee shot. Nate, I'm going to give you a little insight, something I've never done. I have the wrong disc in my hand.
Wow. So you threw a D1?
I threw a flippy D1 when I meant to throw a stable D2. Luckily, I sawed it off.
And it flipped up? So you sawed it off and you're like, wow, that's going to be way right.
Yes.
And then it flips up and you're like, wait, what just happened?
Yes, I was losing my mind. I'm like, wait, is my D2 this flippy now? And I was really scared. And then I checked my bag and there's the D2. That's a great shot from Conrad. Getting in the landing zone also with the backhand, just sneaking by that tree.
Calvin absolutely has a serviceable forehand.
No doubt about it. This is perfect for his flick. That's a destroyer right to the landing area, and he's got flat ground. I like that. But yeah, I could not believe that I had done that.
That's a pretty rare mistake from top-level pros such as yourself.
Definitely. Look at your disc before you throw it.
And that's the one tree you have to beat. This is out of position, but it's still possible, especially for Emerson. He's got a big forehand. And that's a good-looking shot. It's gonna be outside circle too, but nice safe play.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to do much more than that, but solid shot getting on the other side of the pond, making his par really easy.
And that's a great looking approach from Calvin. Splits the trees with the mid-range.
Yep, that was an awesome shot.
Looks like James is also going straight at the pin.
Well done from James Conrad. A little downhill putt from about 18 feet.
So are you throwing something stable? Is this a A2?
Yeah, this is my straighter A2. Just kind of trying to give it a little bit of S-curve, but also play that slope so that, it just holds it even more straight. Executed pretty well.
I've always thought those A-series mids were pretty solid for the forehand.
Yeah, they really are. They're small diameter, so they feel really small in the hand, but they can take a ton of torque from sidearms or backhands. Layup from Emerson's going to give him his second par of the day. Conrad for birdie.
And that makes him 2 for 2 on hole 2.
That's right. Just where you want to be. Same with Calvin.
And I like how it's the same routine regardless of the distance. And sometimes I'll see you at a further distance maybe take an extra pump, but you don't take those short ones for granted.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm always doing the same kind of point to the basket, slow bring down, and commitment is the idea. Makes it a little bit easier to commit on shorter putts. Hole 3 is a really touchy hole coming down the hill, 407 feet, but it just plays like 360, somewhere in there. This creek is going to cause problems, though. This creek is OB, so if you short your drive, if it's low, you likely will find yourself in this creek. There's also water along the left side of the fairway, But,
yeah, if you don't commit to your shot and you release with too much hyzer, you're likely going to find the OB left, and it's likely going to be a lost disc.
Very true. That water's nasty. I'm going to go Flippy H3V2 here.
Oh, this looks perfect. Just carry the creek. Oh, is that the pole?
I could not tell from the tee,
that
but it
like
definitely was.
Yeah. Sweet shot, Kevin. Just a couple feet higher, and it would have been the third ace on this hole.
Wow. Conrad throwing T-Bird. One of the purest discs in his bag. That disc is so money. And he works it inside the circle in money Conrad range. He's looking at his third birdie of the round also.
This is an eagle from Calvin. And that looks like it's too much hyzer.
It was. Luckily, that eagle pushes
Okay.
like nobody's business, and he's actually in a decent spot.
So Emerson's going to try and follow up his ace from yesterday. He's throwing a 12-speed disc here. This is a recoil.
Nice. That is the disc he aced this hole with. Luckily, that was just short of the creek, going to leave him safe with a chance for birdie from range.
And Emerson has a rather unique putt. He is one of the only players in recent history that has a successful hinge putt. He brings that disc so far to his left hip, and when it comes back to the center, it's not the way that you would teach how to putt because it adds a little something extra, but that kid makes it work.
Yeah, he definitely does. He is extremely solid on the green, especially from circle 2 range. Oh, man. What a nice putt from Conrad.
And that's absolutely a death putt.
Yeah, it is. If he airballs that, that's going OB.
Yeah, and pretty tough to gain any strokes when you're perfect through 3.
Yeah, that's right. 3 for 3 is ideal on this course, especially because it just gets much harder late in the round. Emerson, with an even through 3 start, is very slow, and it could cause problems coming later in the round. You've got a bunch of really tough holes coming up, and you never just want to get chasing on those holes. You'd like to be in control at that point.
Yeah, this is definitely the part of the course where you want to score. The more you score early on, the more comfortable you get in the woods, and you're okay laying up for that par. Or otherwise, when if you even one big or just a few down, you might want to try to attack when you're out of position, and that's when you start getting in trouble here at Idlewild.
Yeah, I really agree with that. This is a perfect example of it too. A hole that you can start chasing a birdie on.
Mm-hmm.
The basket is brought much closer to the water than in the drone footage. I'm going to throw a D2 sidearm here, and I'm playing for 3 on this hole.
I'm pretty shocked by this play, but as you said, you got 3 of the first 3,
Mm-hmm.
so you're feeling okay with the par on hole 4.
Yeah, it definitely feels much better to par it when you're 3 through 3, but I'd like to imagine that no matter my score, I would lay this shot up. It's just not in my strong suit to go for this shot like it's in Conrad's strong suit. This is a Thunderbird, and it's just perfect. Like, the angle on it was perfect. The power was amazing.
He's past the pin.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It's a huge shot. Calvin's definitely lining this one up.
Yeah, Calvin is good on this too. He has a really good fairway driver mash.
T-Bird.
I think it is, yeah.
This is beautiful. Well inside circle 1.
Actually, that was a Thunderbird, now
Okay.
that I remember.
Good call. And I just love this swing right here. And he knows it.
Yep.
Too much hyzer. And that one's gone forever. Feeling pretty good about another stress-free layup.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Emerson, that's a putt for even par. He's got an option here. You want to go even, or do you want to go 1 over par into hole 4? Or hole 5, excuse me. He chooses even. That's a great putt from Emerson.
Yeah, that's into a headwind as well on the elevated pin, so you got to get that nose up.
Yes, scary. Conrad, 4 for 4.
And that makes him 2 for 2 on hole 4, which is sweet.
That's insane. Playing this hole under par for the tournament would be remarkable, in my opinion.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, no.
That's a rare miss from Calvin inside the circle, just off the right side.
I imagine James was pretty stoked to see you lay it up, feeling that he was going to birdie it.
I think you're right.
After you birdied the first 3, it's like, okay, Kev's laying this one up. I can at least get a stick on him here.
Yeah, he's definitely looking at it like that, and from my angle, I'm just saying, nice shot, man. Nice shot.
All right, moving on to hole 5, par 4, 555 feet. We've got an OB Creek left the entire length of the hole, and the hole actually slopes from right to left straight toward that OB. Ideal tee shots land right here by this big tree. We have seen some rollers get up to this wall for a putt for eagle in the past. We're likely going to see a big air shot from James.
Yeah, today these players are dealing with a headwind / left to right wind. So a wind that's really going to get their disc flipped over to the right.
It's a good looking shot. It might cut roll. Oh, and it is cut rolling. Give him the green, and that looked like it was out of bounds.
Yeah, it sure did. That landed all the way on the right side of the fairway and cut rolled all the way across OB left side. This is my
big roller.
F5 roller.
It's a pretty flippy fairway.
Pretty flippy. Just making sure that I get it vertical, and I'm in, I would say, a perfect landing zone for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you're in an ideal spot. You can almost jump putt to the green.
Should be able to jump putt from there.
That makes the hole so much easier.
Oh, my goodness.
So this is another eagle from Calvin. Also has a little too much cut on it.
Man, most days both Calvin and James's shots would be okay. Mm-hmm. But today with this wind, it holds that disc upright just long enough to cut roll all the way across the fairway and OB, which is really costly. They're in a really tough spot from there.
Oh, and that roller looks like it was just started out too wide.
It was.
Oh, and gets a really fortunate tree. That was headed straight for the out of bounds.
That was a great redirection.
So,
yeah, Emerson's in a really tough spot here. He has a decision to make. Is he going to try to somehow land it on the green or just lay up to a nice circle 2 putt range, very safe putt? That's a good play from Emerson. The only reason that it's an option to run the green is because the edge of the OB is raised. So if you can land it on the green, you're not likely going to skip off. Good layup from Calvin, also laying up to circle's edge, which takes a lot of touch from what he was doing.
And this is a nightmare position for James right here. He has to take this putter out over a lot of OB, through a lot of trees. Oh, wow. That is a huge shot right there. To even attempt that shot is nerve-wracking.
He's just so confident with what he can do with the putter. He knew he was going to hit the gap and landed on the green, and he just used that backstop perfectly. That's a sweet 4 save. He's still got about 25 feet left, but I just consider that money with James.
And you made that shot look pretty easy, but not everyone has that level of jump putt in their arsenal, and you certainly do.
That jump putt has become extremely helpful on this course in many areas.
Oh, and that's another just right side miss. I mean, plenty of chains, but just enough to fall out.
Yeah, same miss as last time. Another surprising miss, but just inches. Great putt from Conrad, dead center. What a 4 save.
No doubt. I mean, if he hits early, he's going OB right in front of him, and then he pretty much has the same shot to get onto the green. If he hits late, he's going to have a putt for 5 from before the creek. So to get that one onto the green and make that 25-footer is huge.
Yeah, super risky.
All right, moving on to hole 6, par 3, 437 feet. You've got trees early right, which kind of forces a different shape. We've seen a roller, we've seen a high anhyzer shot. What are you throwing here today, Kevin?
Today, I am opting for the roller line. I'm doing this because it seems like even the bad rollers end up in circle 2 in jump putting range, as opposed to a bad air shot landing well outside of circle 2 with an upshot to go. So I'm just really going to make sure that I get the disc over enough and not cut it to the left. I want it pretty vertical. There's also
the F series.
This is the F5 again, and there's also not a whole lot of room on the tee box to really have a big run up, and that's partially a factor too in not throwing an air shot.
Beautiful roller just outside circle 1.
It's great to have a putt on this hole. This hole is really long and tricky, so at least having a 2-putt on it is really nice. Conrad is going to go Wraith here.
And I know this tee pad definitely limits James from getting his normal full run up.
Yeah, he definitely has to change up his run up on this hole. It drops off severely after the tee box, so there's no chance of hopping on it and trying to create a run up.
Emerson going with the roller. That looks like it has just too much cut.
Wow, that must be a really flippy disc, because that was totally cutting. Ending up in not a terrible spot. He's far enough up there also to where it's pretty straight at the basket too. No trees in the way.
Looks like Calvin's lining up the air shot. Oh, and it looked like that one was moving from left to right, but I couldn't quite tell if it had enough turn to get there.
It definitely was going to go somewhere up there by the basket. He actually stuck right in the tree, though. This is Emerson's moneymaker. Beat up Justice with the Boston Bruins logo on it. He's been throwing it for about 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he loves that disc. From Texas, a lot of the wind. He likes an overstable disc.
Definitely. Conrad was dealing with a right to left wind there, and he threw his flippy AVR, trying to glide it in there, but the wind just didn't let it. It pushed it just too low for him.
And this putt is for birdie and to take a 4-stroke lead over James. Wow, a lot of chains.
Yep, I wanted that one a lot, but apparently not quite enough as I missed it left side. But I'll be all right with a par on this hole. And it looks like everybody's going to be taking pars on this one.
And when you miss a putt like that, can you look back and say why, or are you able to say, was it, I just didn't extend enough, I didn't get enough legs into it?
I've noticed sometimes when I miss left, I feel like it wasn't quite enough commitment, and when I miss right, it's maybe too much excitement. So there's a happy balance in there. Hole 7 is like you said yesterday, Nate, one of the most signature holes out here at Idlewild. When you think of Idlewild, you think of holes just like this. Very daunting tee shots with a tight fairway all the way up to the basket. This one is extremely elevated. So much elevation here that whenever you land in the landing zone, you're going to be really off balance. The upshot's super hard from the landing zone. But most important is the tee shot.
Yeah, and you are opting to not throw the tee shot.
That is very true.
You're opting to break this hole down, and you are going to take a massive hyzer through this first tree. This route doesn't really exist unless you have 500 foot of power.
That's probably pretty true.
I think you like it.
I knew I liked that one out of my hand. There's also, the direction I'm throwing has a headwind kind of at me, so what it's doing is it's raising the disc up how I need it. I need the disc really high and coming in the treetops, and that actually filtered to the middle of the fairway.
Wow. That's amazing, because you're way up the hill.
Way up the hill, middle of the fairway. Very routine up and down from there. James turning it over. This is so scary. But it tipped off a tree, and he is in the landing zone now.
That is super fortunate, because normally if you miss that main gap, it's almost an instant bogey if you miss that gap. I mean, you don't see a lot of discs get over that out of bounds when you miss it.
Yeah, that's a possible two-stroke swing for sure. It's very nice to get through this gap.
And Calvin says no thank you on the tree gap. Playing the traditional line. And that kind of shows you, the gap that you took, while it might be kind of playing the hole how they didn't intend, it's not easy.
Right, there's a lot of risk that goes into that shot. So the moment I'm throwing it, I know this is big moment. You gotta get it high. Conrad making magic happen.
Wow.
Turning that break into a birdie, and that's how you golf.
He's in the bullseye.
Yeah, he filleted that shot. That shot was so good.
And Calvin following that same line, and I didn't even know that there was hyzer access into this pin.
Yeah, it's a sneaky route, but with people that can just lace backhand lines like that, it filters so nicely.
And I believe that's Emerson's signature disc, the Opto X Explorer.
I believe you are right. Very smooth fairway driver.
Wow, this is where your drive landed.
Yes.
The hole has never looked easier.
It's very nice to
sick.
Not have to deal with that gap. It takes so much stress off once I hit that line. So Calvin with the same looking up shot as James, just not quite the same result. This is for birdie. Finding the middle of the chains this time.
And that's going to be a good confidence boost moving forward after a couple missed putts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't see tap in birdies on this one very often.
No, because when you go down the intended gap, it's really difficult to get a park job on that upshot.
All right, we are moving on to hole 8, par 5, 576 feet. And again, the tee shot here is so crucial. You need to break this corner. Ideal landing zone is right in front of this tree, but it's tight all the way to the pin. You can see this late gap is only 20-25 feet across at max. Got to round this corner, and the pin is on a left to right slope. Pretty quick green.
Extremely fast green, and this hole is so unique. One of the most unique holes on the course, possibly.
Mm-hmm. So are you throwing something stable right here?
I'm throwing glidey. This is a glidey D2. I've found that when I throw stable, they hyzer out a little bit quicker. I don't know. What are you opting for?
I'm throwing a stable disc, but I'm probably putting it on a little bit more angle than that.
Okay, yeah.
Did that work out right there?
It faded out a little bit early into the right side tree line, but up there far enough to where I should be able to get into the gap pretty deep. Conrad throwing a putter, and I thought this was about as well as you could throw a putter.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's pushing that right side. He might have even snuck past a couple.
Yep.
He's in ideal position to lay up to the hill.
Right. Calvin is going for the forehand flex also, and that is just not enough turn. He's hyzering out. You can see into the people over there. He'll have some trees to deal with between him and the second landing zone. That's a committed line. It was high, too.
Yeah, high, a lot of angle with a stable disc, and he is
way up
there.
Like, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody land that far up there.
This is an old beat-up Ching rock from James. That looked like it was on a pretty good line, maybe a little too high.
Calvin's just trying to pitch up to the flat in the middle of the gap. Not bad done. And I am doing a very similar thing as Calvin, but I was just a little closer up.
So you're actually putting some heat on this one and trying to get up there. And, wow, that's inside circle too.
That's exactly what I was trying to do on that shot. Throw it on a hyzer flip line and just penetrate into the trees on the right side. It kind of cleans up once you get within 100 feet of the basket. Emerson is close enough to throw his Boston justice. Come on.
Wow, and he's inside circle 1 looking at an eagle 3.
Yeah, that's a beautiful eagle.
He hasn't scored yet. I just realized he hasn't bogeyed, but he hasn't scored his first.
It's been all pars, huh?
Yeah, his first score might be an eagle.
That's so true. He's got
that's
about 20
really
feet
rare.
left.
And the rare, speaking of rare, the extremely rare forehand from James Conrad, maybe his first of the event so far.
I think so. He only does it when he has to.
And look at that focus. Oh, just a couple inches low. Gets the cage.
So Conrad caught a nice tree kick to well inside the circle. Cleaning up a nice birdie. And bringing out the sidearm. Showcasing the James Conrad sidearm. It's always special.
Yeah, James is very proud at how few sidearms he has to throw.
Yes, he is. Emerson.
Wow.
Inside 20 feet for the eagle. Well done, man. Legit Disc Golf was also doing a promotional to where every eagle scored by Kevin or Emerson would win somebody a couple free hats.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was cool. So check out Legit Disc Golf.
That's a scary promotion. They could be giving out quite a few hats.
I know, right?
You're racking up eagles. Didn't you already have like 2 or 3?
3 the first round, but
That's awesome.
yeah.
All right, so I woke up, watched some SportsCenter this morning, and what do you know? James Conrad made it onto SportsCenter for his ace on this hole right here.
I had no idea.
Dude, we're making it, Kevin.
That is so awesome.
Disc
man.
golf is making it.
Congratulations, Conrad, and congratulations, Disc Golf Pro Tour, for getting that footage out there. Emerson is going Explorer here, trying to really do a nice touchy flick in there.
Yeah, maybe just a little too timid, and he gets the left side tree, and worst case scenario kick, he's on the right. What just happened? What just happened? No. Kevin is just breaking down the Idlewild course today, guys.
That is so much fun.
Grenade.
Yeah, there's just a tiny line up there, but I feel more confident about getting down there somewhere with that gap rather than the spot that Emerson is in is just so tough.
Who taught you that shot? Where did you learn that shot? Where does it come from?
That's a good question. I might have to give credit to like Coda Hatfield or something. I feel like maybe I saw him throw it back in the day, and
yeah, he was one of the best back in the day from your neck of the woods.
Oh yeah, he was somebody I looked up to big time. He's only 3 hours from where I was from.
And that's also another worst case scenario kick. Actually, Emerson's not as bad as it looked. He's got a lane to get up and down.
Yeah, this is tough. Look at that shot. Come on.
Yeah, that's a well-thrown shot from that position.
Extremely good shot.
And this is not fun at all. Calvin is a bush.
Yeah, Calvin was fiddling with this bush for a good old 30 seconds, that's for sure.
And that's also a really nice approach.
Yeah, so important to get up there into the circle on that second shot and salvage a par on this hole. Trying to throw his flippy AVR and zip it right into the basket.
Did you go grenade during round 1 as well?
I did. Right side. I was right side bushes, about 35 feet away.
What did you have to adjust to park it this time?
There was a little bit of wind up there. I was actually considering what disc I wanted to throw, if I wanted to throw the grenade, because I knew there was a lot of wind, but I played it a little bit more to the left so that it would maybe drop right, and it dropped perfectly. It's so funny to just like, to everybody, the disc just disappears for like 3 seconds or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're looking at the basket and it's just like trickling down. That's super cool to see.
And if you wanted to learn how to play the front nine at Idlewild, you are watching the right video. Kev Jones is putting on a clinic for us. Was that 6 down on the front or 7 down on the front?
7 down on the front. I couldn't be happier with that.
And you played one of the holes for par.
Yeah.
So you only missed 1 hole.
Yep, the hole that I chained out on the jump putt.
Yeah, hole 6, yeah. That was close too. So nearly a perfect front 9 from Kevin. James is hanging in there, also shooting pretty well.
Extremely well.
Yeah, 6 down.
One stroke behind me.
Yeah, 6 down through the front. I mean, you're just playing great golf.
Yeah, Sam Lee with a nice front 9. Sneak it into 3rd place. That's good. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the GK Pro production, and we hope to see you in part 2 of round 2.